in the first game of the doubleheader today to the St. Louis Cardinals. And Wilson Contreras walked off the game in extra innings to give the Cardinals the win. And I just have to play the interview that he had after the game.
The doubleheaders, and I said doubleheader for us a challenge because I feel like everything comes here, and they think they're gonna face like a good team or nice team or shitty team, and I think we're a good team and we can fuck everybody and whoever wanna comes here and try to win us they're gonna have a hard time.
Keep it going.
We can fuck anybody. Like, I get the sentiment of like teams are underrating us basically and thinking that they're going to come in and play like the team of last year or something, but just dropping that on live TV
English is hard, man. English is
that's
hard.
awesome.
That is spectacular right there. I mean, hey, the Cardinals, not a lot of people talk about the Cardinals, but they're fucking everybody right now, to be honest.
They're right there.
They've been pretty impressive. I mean, they're definitely a lot better, a lot more competitive than I thought they'd be this season. I think they're pretty healthy now too, which is Wilson Contreras is playing good now. He was terrible to start the year. I think Ivan Herrera might be the hottest hitter on earth. He's hitting like 350. Or I think he's down to 333. I'm sorry, he's slumping now. I mean, they're good. They're legitimately good. I did not expect to see Victor Scott be an actual offensive contributor, but he kind of has been too. Like Jordan Walker's hurt, but I'm not sure that that's actually hurting them that much, to be totally honest. But that's a whole other discussion.
One thing I want to touch on quickly before we get off Noah Cameron, I'm looking at his visuals here for his strike counts and base hits and whatnot, and every single one of his base hits on the year has been above the belt in the top half of the zone. And he's only given up 4 base hits on 2 strike counts. And they're all pitchers' pitches. Like, they shouldn't be hitting this. He's got 1 fastball that's up and in out of the zone, a curveball and a slider, both on the black in the top left corner, and a bad changeup that floated inside middle. But that's a good profile. Like, I like guys who are able to challenge people on 2 strikes and aren't just like, I'm afraid, so I'm going to waste this pitch, or I'm afraid and I'm going to make a mistake and put it middle. That I like that from a 25-year-old.
He's done a really good job of keeping things on the edges. That's for sure.
Yeah, just kind of getting back to the Cardinals though. This was a team that I thought
the Pacers came back. So I'm sorry. That's like I was watching.
The Rams says the Pacers just came back to take the lead.
Oh my God!
Our
they're the luckiest team or the best. I don't know. That team is insane. I cannot believe they're doing this. Sorry, I know this is a baseball podcast.
No, you're good. But the Cardinals were a team that I thought should have been sellers in the winter in the offseason. I was like, why are you keeping Ryan Helsley? That's a guy that you could get pieces for. I thought St. Louis was the worst team coming into the season, was the worst team in the NL Central. Like, I am just totally blown away. Brendan Donovan is an all-star.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
A 140 WRC plus right now. Like, Brendan Donovan, I mean, and this is the perfect example.
You wish Ozzy Albies was him right now, for sure.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you for the dagger again.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to twist the knife. But Brendan Donovan was one of those guys that coming up through the minor leagues was never like a big top 100 guy or anything. And I know a lot of times the guys that I'm looking for and picking up for my fantasy teams are guys like that are kind of under the radar, that are going to be guys that you can just kind of scoop up for free off the waiver wire and that kind of thing. And Brendan Donovan is the epitome of what you're trying to look for in that, because he was never a top 100 guy, never a pedigree guy by any means. Let's see here. He was actually a 7th round draft pick. So obviously he wasn't one of those flashy guys that, you knew was going to be a star, but this is a guy who's his worst season, his WRC plus was 115. So like this has been a really productive player, and he's going to be an all-star this year. I mean, he's got 2.2 WAR, which means it's not unrealistic that he gets a 5.5, 6 WAR season this year. I mean,
guys like that are great. I mean, he can play anywhere. He hits crap out of the ball. Like he can hit tall fields. I've always liked him. So obviously he was a great player to pick up on fantasy. You can slot him anywhere. Just the whole Cardinals vibe. They're they're definitely, I feel like they're overachieving what they were expected to this year. Now it's going to be tough with the Cubs in that division. They're 5 games back now, but still super early. We're not even at the All-Star break yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Alec Burleson, who's having a good year. The one weird part is Nolan Arenado to me is not really, he's not the Nolan Arenado of old, but it's really interesting because that's the one piece they did try to trade, and he invoked his no trade clause on that. So kind of interesting. Any other thoughts on the Cardinals before we pivot to something else? I know that Ty, you had some topics you wanted to cover, but anybody else have any thoughts on the St. Louis Cardinals and where they're going this year?
Yeah, I'm looking at their spot rack page for contracts, and they've got a lot of big names coming up at the end of the year. With the way they're playing right now, they're 20-10 at home. They're 5 games back of the division. Where are they at right now in the wild card? I want to find that, but they're 34-28. Like wild card.
I can check it right now.
I really
they
would like to see them trying to compete.
They're a half game out of the wild card.
Yes.
Like with
They're
all
right
those
there, and
contracts
it's-
coming up, you're like, are we gunning it or are we dumping? But I don't want them to dump.
It's not a franchise that likes to dump, though.
No.
They're
I
still
think
embedded into that community.
the teams around them feel like the type of teams that could dump too. I mean, it's teams like the teams that are closest to them are the Giants, who have been really good, but will that continue? I don't know. I don't trust it.
Save their lives.
Yeah, I just don't trust it. I mean, Helio Ramos is kind of carrying them, him and John Huli, and if those two guys kind of cool down, that team could get a little scary offensively. Milwaukee and Arizona are teams that I feel like wouldn't be surprising to sell. Arizona, I feel like they kind of almost want to. They have these young guys who are playing well, and obviously some older guys as well. I wouldn't be shocked if that's a team that goes like, this isn't probably our year, and like moves a Eugenio Suarez or somebody along those lines. And so I think they're in a position where there are a lot of teams around them that are probably not going to look, we can be better this year and next year. The Cardinals have some like big pieces, yes, but they also have some impact young guys. And this is a team where you might look to add a guy and see if you can.
I don't see the farm
make a run
to buy pieces with there, though.
That's fair. But I mean, maybe it's a team that you're not getting a superstar. You can get a contributor, I'm sure, or somewhere around the edges. I don't know. It's certainly not a team that I think I see selling right now, especially considering they've struggled the last couple of years, and now they're going to sell when they're good again. I feel like for a franchise that loves baseball, you're probably not going to try to be worse when you've been bad for a couple of years and your franchise is starving for good winning baseball.
Yeah. Ty, you said a bunch of contracts are coming off the books next year, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, they could trade for good players on bad contracts since they're getting a bunch of money off the books next year. If you don't,
everybody in that NL wildcard race right now everybody's up in the air. Arizona is losing pitchers either to injury or to hitters. Seems like every single day. Like depending on what Burns's second opinion comes back as, I could see the Diamondbacks selling. Obviously, they've got a few really core pieces that they're obviously not going to move, but I don't think that they think that they're either taking the division or knocking out the Dodgers. So I don't know. I would like to see St. Louis, we're saying they don't have a lot of pieces and they really don't to move, but I don't think they're far away from being like an actual NL wildcard competitive team here. So long as they're guys who are kind of playing a bit inflated baseball right now can continue to play inflated baseball.
Oh, Ram brings up
unreal.
Yeah, he's being Sonny Gray. Ram brings up, I wonder if they'll get anything out of Jordan Walker. This actually could be a guy that benefits from a change of scenery. I wonder if he's the type of guy they could flip to bring in, a depth starter or something like that. And he just may need a change of scenery at this point.
Is there a team that would gamble on the tools of a Jordan Walker, especially with him being 23 still? I could see that.
I hope so.
The Rays.
I like the Cardinals' arms, man. I feel like they have good versatility. Like Steven brings up in the comments a great point about McGreevy and Roby, both being guys who could impact the team this year. I mean, McGreevy, we've seen him do it in spot starts last year, and this year he was really good in his one stretch so far. And I just think this is a team with, like, they have a pretty decent bullpen. They have guys like Helsley and Leahy and Matz, who was stretched out as a starter earlier and gives you another option who can eat some innings if need be. I just think this is a team that they're not a superstar laden team by any means, besides a couple of the top guys. And even those guys, like, are we considering Sonny Gray, Brendan Donovan superstars? Probably not, but they're very good players. But there's a lot of them. And I feel like it's a team that's pretty well, they've got a lot of depth. And if they can add one or two more guys, they can be pretty competitive in a bit of an NL that seems like it's a little bit in flux besides the Dodgers in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.